Hello and welcome to Coronacrisis. My name's David Haythornthwaite and I'm the chairman of AFC Fylde. And over the next few weeks and months, I'm hopefully going to take you through what goes on behind the scenes of a non-league football team at times like this. We're going to discuss all the issues regarding behind the scenes, the players, off-field staff, all the things that contribute to the running of the club, and how we're dealing with the issues that have been thrown at us on a daily and weekly basis, so that it gives you a really good insight to the club and the running of clubs in general. So I look forward to you joining me on this journey.
David, thanks once again for joining us as we look behind the scenes at AFC Fylde. There's been some new government legislation out which we'd like to run through and how that affects the ongoing events at Mill Farm. We know that the Costa has reopened. You're doing that as takeaway, as well as Milano's, and there's just a few other things going on.
Yeah, well, it seems that the COVID-19 situation is changing rapidly. Everywhere in the world at the moment. You've got those, terrible scenes that we've witnessed here, haven't we? That's going on in Brazil and Argentina and places that, we're hoping to do business as a company, and just need to avoid it. You've got situations where all of Asia, where we do a lot of business in Asia, but you can't get into any country in Asia. Not one. There's no borders open. Singapore airport is one of the busiest airports in the world, completely closed. So in Asia, they've got some return to normality within the country, but they're not letting anybody get in, or any admissions. So we've got a situation in our country, obviously, where there's been a lot of pressure for the government to open up and to open up faster maybe than it maybe originally intended. We all know the argument now between what has the greatest impact, loss of jobs, and therefore the impact of loss of jobs or health. It's a delicate. Whatever the government do, I've said many a time, is they'll be condemned for they didn't go slow enough or they went too fast. But I think they're trying to genuinely think like everyone. They're trying to do the right thing, and certainly opening up bars and restaurants, just for the general, good feeling of everybody. We all love to go to the pub. Nobody loves to go to the pub more than me, and I like to go out. I mean, to me, it was a religion on a Friday night. I went down to the taps in Lytham, had a couple of pints, and then that was for me. And then I went to Barrique or somewhere like that, and had a glass of wine for my wife, and then we invariably went to one of the 4 or 5 restaurants, and sometimes my kids joined me or my friends. It was, something. It was a ritual, and we miss that. And the population's missed that. You can only stay at home and have so many glasses of wine at home, and cook your own food, can't you? For so long. And then you got to get out, socialise. We're great socialisers, aren't we? Human beings. We love being out. So I think that there's been obviously pressure to do that, and that rule now, as we know, has been relaxed. The 2 metre rule has been dropped to 1 metre, which was critical for restaurants. So it's allowed us to think about how we reopen. But I can tell you that it won't be the same for quite a while, until they're able to totally, shall we say, drop the 1 metre rule altogether, and shall we say, go back. This is what they're now calling the new normal, aren't they? The 1 metre rule. And in many countries, as we have a conference call every Monday around with our different companies around the world. Many countries are still on a 2 metre rule. Many countries on a 2 metre rule. So I know this government's been criticised, but Spain's still on a 2 metre rule. But they've given us a chance to open, but we have to be really, really cautious. So to give you an idea, Bradley's on a match day, when it's packed, it's 290 is the capacity. We can take 290. You'll always see we have security on there. That's partly to stop, obviously, any trouble but it's also to make sure that we keep within the licensing rules. We don't get too many people in there. We'd also obviously get too many people, you can't get good service and all that. So 290. Now we set out downstairs. Yesterday, John, the manager, called me and said, "Look, David, I've set it out. This is how it's going to look." I said, "Okay, wow. You know, all the tables spaced how they should be, and we can get 90 people in the bar. 90 people. Everybody has to have table service. Yeah, but that's 90 people, assuming that that one table that's got 4 people in, on 4 people, you understand that, and you're shaking, nodding your head there, and so that's the thing. It's all right saying 90, but you won't get a 4 come. You might get a 3 come or a 2 come, and a 2 can't sit with a 2 unless they're from the same family. So really, that 90 is probably at best 75. At best 75. So to open up when you've only got 75, which is effectively 1/4 of capacity, you know, it's touch and go. And the only reason that we're opening it is because we are a sports bar. And we think because every single game now is televised and everybody knows exactly what time, and there's only one game on at once, and that's the only real live televised sport, that yes, it is marginally worth us opening Bradley's, but it's only marginal. And I think there'll be a lot of places who decide it's not worth opening. It's not worth opening until we can go back to the old norm, not the new norm, so to speak. So we are going to do it. We're going to see what's involved. I say we have to do table service. We've thought long and hard about being totally cashless. My FD, me, everybody, a lot of people got used to not using cash. So we had a long discussion about that and came to the conclusion that we weren't probably just there yet, so we are going to accept cash. And those kind of things, you know, the sanitisation, you know, the precautions you have to put in place in toilets, and there's a lot of work involved. But I feel that we have to also, there's a responsibility on us to do our part, to get back to some sort of normal, and people, you know, it's the best place on the Fylde coast still to watch football, to watch sports. There's nowhere better. That's why people used to come, and that's how I set it up, that's how I built it. So I think we open up, we'll give people a chance to get out, have a beer. I've always fought hard in Bradley's to try and get waiter service. I've failed, but because we're now being forced to have waiter service, it might work out. I've always, you know, dreamt it would, like a typical American sports bar. So from that point of view, we're going to do that. We open, as everybody does, July the 4th, week tomorrow. And we're also building, you may have noticed when you drove in, but opposite Bradley's, there's been a piece of land we've had for a long time, which I always got about an idea to develop some sort of cafe. But we're going to now put tables in there, and we're working on that, should be complete next week. So we've got sort of al fresco dining area. You'll know the government are pulling out all the stops to allow people effectively, to use their words, to serve on the pavements. You know, I always like it when I go to London on a summer's night and I'm in the taxi going from the hotel to the hotel, and you know, every corner you go around, the streets are packed in London with people drinking on the street because the pubs are so small. So they're going to allow people to serve drink on the street, which wouldn't be a normal thing to say kind of up here. And try and create that, you know, a bit of fun, I suppose. You know, get a bit of a buzz going, as you know, the Prime Minister Boris just said. So we're going to do that outside area, and we're going to combine that with, you know, doing our pizzas. We're not opening Milanos at the moment. I don't see at this time any point in opening Milanos. Milanos are an Italian restaurant. We've got a new chef in there. He's putting together a new menu. And we said, look, you know, earliest we were going to open there is 2nd week of August, earliest, but it will depend very much on what's happening. It'll depend on what's happening with Bradley's. But we can run our pizza oven, so we'll serve pizzas downstairs, so you can have a fantastic pizza while you're watching the football, or if you want to sit outside with a nice glass of wine or even better a bottle of wine, we can bring the pizza to you as well. So that's our plan, and hopefully it will go well, and hopefully we'll get a great sunny day like it is outside today next week to kick it all off.
It seems quite a while. It's been 3 months, but it seems like it's been a very long 3 months. Again, your own views and opinions. Is this the start of us starting to get back to some sort of reality?
Yeah, it's always look. It's a question that nobody knows, Adam. Really, it's that nobody knows, because what everybody is scared about is that there'll be another flare-up, and how do we contain it? And I don't think anybody knows, but it seems sometimes things come and they disappear as fast as they come, and a lot of the countries now. I used to, I don't know what you did, but I was a bit of a sado. I used to watch what I call the Olympic death table. And there wasn't an Olympic medal table. They used to publish it every day where the deaths were. And it was Italy's had 800. It's not long ago, is it? France has 600, Spain 900, UK 7. Bloody hell! I mean, there was some serious numbers on the board, so to speak, for a while. But if you read them today, I don't even look at them anymore. So it's probably France 1, Spain 0. It's almost disappeared in those countries. It's amazing, really. The deaths have disappeared, which is strange to me. There's still a lot of COVID cases, but we seem to have learned how to deal with the situation. And I want it to be over. We all want it to be over. We want to believe that we've got it under control. But anything can happen, can't it? And what's been shown in Germany this week, where they've had a flare up at a few abattoirs and things like that. Somebody said to me, my wife said, why is it an abattoir? I said, well, probably one of the major reasons it's cold. It's bloody cold in an abattoir. You're working in pretty very cold conditions by nature, because you've got meat and you've got to keep it. You don't want any heat in there at all. And we know that it does thrive, or seems to thrive, in a cold climate, doesn't it? And I think that's one of the reasons in Italy and Spain and France, as we've come into summer, it's kind of disappeared. So what the new norm is, how long it's going to last, will it flare up again? None of us know that. None of us got that crystal ball. But obviously, I sincerely hope it doesn't. I mean, we want to get back playing football, don't we? And we want to play football with crowds. They're talking about a September start. I mean, I think just to go to football for a second, Adam, one of the significant things that the league has said since we last met, in actual fact, the FA, that there will be no league will start with non-league at any level will start without crowds. I thought that was a massive statement. So, and no leagues will start without each other. So you couldn't start the Isthmian League and say, well, we're ready, we're going to start. No, all of non-league football will have to start together, and it will never start without crowds. So I've heard people give creative ways, said, oh well, we could get 500 and we could do that, but I don't know. I've been a pessimist. I said I don't think the football will start till January. My most optimistic with crowds, it's always been November. I've never been more optimistic. And God, there's nobody wants to be proved wrong more than me. Nobody. But it's they are talking about a September start. But I've said to you before, Adam, and I think that there's a long way to go in this football relegation, promotion, league thing, because one of the caveats, if you remember, was of Stevenage being relegated was only relegated if there was a league for them to go into. And I wonder whether or not behind the scenes is that the FA is saying this for a reason. Maybe not, we'll see. But football with crowds, I don't know. It could be September. As I said, who knows where we're going to be in September? I mean, we're at the 1st of July, haven't we gone to the 1 metre rule? So July, August, I suppose, 8 weeks. Long time is 8 weeks, isn't it?
And one thing we do need to play football on is a pitch.
You're right. Doesn't look so good, does it, at the moment? I'm looking at it now. No, we've you know, we had a terrible time with the pitch last year, and you know, again, I said earlier on these interviews, you know, one thing I was always proud of my pitch, and I was embarrassed with my pitch this year. It was a disgrace. Couldn't play any football on it, just terrible. So we investigate. I said before, I think to the viewers, you know, we investigated. We dug. You can't see it, but we dug the whole thing up. There's a lot of faults on the drainage, a lot of faults on the original way things were put in 3 years ago. And at the moment, we're in the middle of having a fight of who's, as always with these things, whose responsibility is. And you know, the builders who built it are very nice people. They subcontracted it to another company who subcontracted it to someone else. And of course, when all these things happen, everybody blames everybody else. So at the moment, we're trying to get this resolved without going legal. That's my preference, but it looks like we may not be able to do that. The most important thing is that, you know, we can carefully document everything, because at some stage we're going to have to renovate the pitch. As you know, I've said, I don't want to spend a penny at the moment, and I don't want to spend a penny till the last minute. But if we are going to have a September-ish start, then we're probably going to have to dig the pitch up in a not too distant future. I just want to try and get the legal part sorted out first, hopefully. But that's where we're at on the pitch at the moment.
Okay, well, thank you for updating us on all matters Mill Farm.
No problem.